All right, I am back, and you know what? I still don't know if the stream is working. Uh, oh, there it goes. But for some reason now it's letting me, not letting me access. The fuck? You know what? I'll just close it out and reopen the app. There we go. There we go. For some reason now it's not. All right. So now I'm back. So anyway, as I was saying before, I really didn't have shit to talk about tonight. I was bored thinking about, how I can make the show better. Uh, I need a lot of help though. So hey, if anybody out there is interested in helping to produce a live stream talk show, I definitely want to hear from you. And hit me up. You know, hit me in the chat or inbox me, DM me, or whatever. Uh, all the contact info is on the channel, um, or even better, go to the website. Link is on the channel as well, because I could definitely use some production help. It's been a long time uh, since I've actually worked in the industry, in the business, so but it's all good. So anyway, though, I want to say this. I haven't worn a watch probably in about 30 years. But today I got this Google Watch Ultra, and gonna try it out. I didn't really need it, but it was free from Verizon because I guess I'd been such a great customer for so long. So they gave me a watch. So I wasn't going to turn it down. It's not really free though. I had to add a line. It's $15 a month added to my already high ass uh, Verizon bill. But it's all good. It's just $15. But anyway, like I was saying, I need some production help. I'm uh, looking for a co-producer. A couple of creative types. Who want to do some broadcast work. And so hey, if you're interested, hit me up directly. Um, I'm not doing the political stuff anymore. Uh, I don't know. I just don't have the heart for it. Don't have the patience for it. That's what it is. It's just crazy, too crazy, um, and it doesn't seem like anything's changing anytime soon. So, uh, man, that was way up. I hope that wasn't clipping because I'm not monitoring my sound at all. But in any case, not doing the politics, the religion. Um, it's just stupid because people are crazy, and people take this shit so personally. You know what I mean? They really do. I want to focus on music and entertainment business. That's what I know. That's what I come from, and so there it is. You know, um, maybe stream some live performances, that type of thing. Definitely artist interviews. I know y'all like to see some of that, but you know what? I'm not interested in celebrity artists. And I know that if I interviewed celebrities, a lot of which I know from being in the music business for slightly over 30 years, um, I know that would get the algorithm kicking and get, the people watching, like crazy. But I'm not really interested in those that have already made it. And Should I be? Maybe I should be. I don't know. Um, but I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. Um, I, I I've always wanted to present a platform uh, for unknown artists, for up and coming artists. You know, who I felt were very talented. And could be the next big thing. So that's what I'm going to really focus on moving forward. Um, Fun stuff. Like the old fun days of hip hop. You remember when hip hop was fun? I know a lot of you youngsters have no clue what I'm talking about in terms of the fun hip hop days, because it's probably been like the last 10, 15 years. It's just been the gang banging, drug addicted, misogynistic, you know, don't give a fuck about nothing type uh, rap music that's been pushed to the forefront. Um, and I don't know, that shit never excited me. That's part of the reason I got out of the mainstream music industry, is because I couldn't attach my name to a lot of the material that was being presented, and I just wasn't for it. And the major labels, they were pushing this crap. There's the ones that are still functioning as labels are still pushing this crap. Music is almost 100% independent now. You don't need a label to get out there anymore. It's not like it used to be. Excuse me. I am tired. You can see in my eyes I'm tired. But as I was saying, the record industry is not, what it used to be. Where you had to have major label support to be seen and be heard. All that shit's gone. That's old school for real. I'm an old school motherfucker, so who can tell you better? That shit's dead. Of course, you already know that. The internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and even still Facebook, has made it possible for independent artists to be seen globally, literally, without any major label support. Technology has brought the recording studio to your kitchen table, to your bedroom. If you got a halfway decent laptop, a good microphone, and the lyrics, obviously, you can record all of your stuff right at home, and trust me when I tell you, it's going to sound just as good as any studio recording. And listen, I'm an engineer. I've been engineering records for, like I said, more than 30 years. You're going to have a lot of engineers today tell you still need a studio. You need a big studio. You need a professional studio to get broadcast quality material. I'm here to tell you that is bullshit. You don't need that shit anymore. Don't believe me? Just search YouTube. You'd be surprised how many records are out there now that were produced, written, and recorded in somebody's bedroom, any town America, and then they presented it on their social media pages, and that shit just went ridiculous because, hey, their fan base loved it. They were waiting for it. And then you say, well, Ken, how did they build that fan base? They built that fan base because they been in their room making music, for I'm not even going to say months or years or months, but sometimes I've seen records get put out there, and these guys and gals have just started rapping. They just recorded a song one night and threw it on social media, and that shit went crazy. It happens a lot now. I'm not saying that they're quality songs, because most of them, in my opinion, are not. But that's what's happening now with the industry. There's no such thing as I can't anymore. Any kid with an iPhone can produce a song, record the song, record the video, and put it on social media. If you got a smartphone, you literally have a studio in your hand, and I'm talking about audio and visual studio in your hand. If you got, the if you got the drive and desire to make it happen, that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? All you need. Look, I'm watching myself on my smartphone, monitoring my show that I'm recording and streaming in a home studio. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, if you want to make it in this industry, in this entertainment industry, use what you got. It's not like the old days. When I started, we had cassette tapes. Home multi-track recorders were so damn expensive that it was a dream to have one. Sampling keyboards and shit like that, were so expensive, and you had to go to a professional studio. Well, you didn't have to. You could still make your music, record it independently, even back, in the late 80s, early 90s, when I got started in the music industry. But it's not like it is now. Now we can do so much. Why does that volume keep going up? That shit's crazy. I've been having some real tech issues all day, and not just here, but even in my car. Turn on my satellite radio and set the volume, and the volume has been creeping up all by itself. And now I'm having it happen here in the studio here at the house. But anyway, what I was saying is that if you're getting into this entertainment industry now, and it doesn't matter whether it's music or film, you can do that shit, with off the shelf technology. It's crazy. I've watched, music videos that were totally shot on smartphones, and that shit was dope. I've watched feature films that were shot with smartphones, and the shit was dope. You know what I mean? I watch shows every day on YouTube, home produced shows, music shows, skits, series, all shot with just smartphones, and they're dope as hell. I listen to records all the time. I find indie artists all over the web who did their music at home, with a laptop, and now even with just a tablet, they're setting up home recording studios and doing their thing, So I'm gonna tell you, as a professional, okay. Although when I was in the studio business, I loved it when somebody wanted to come in and book time, but technology put us out of business, and there are still studios out there, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of professional recording facilities out there, because there are people who still love to use them. And I think that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be a market for it, but that market is smaller and much more competitive now, because more artists are going totally independent. Um, I have a old friend of mine. She lives down in Palm Beach. Her and her family, whole family. Awesome people. Um, I think I've known her now for definitely at least 20 years. At least 20 years. Um, but she's a filmmaker, or she was a filmmaker. Now she writes books and she does all types of other crafts. But I remember way back when, I was telling her, I said, yo, uh, skip the film festivals. Just shoot your movie. If you can get the crew together, you don't need a lot. She had a dope camera back then. For back then, it was a dope ass camera. Um, and I used to tell her all the time, just shoot your movie, build a website, release that shit online. I said that's gonna be the hot thing, in the future. And she was still locked into the old school way of doing things. I gotta, you know, get all the technical people involved, and we gotta, shoot the footage, and spend weeks and weeks editing, and like I said, that's cool if that's the way you love to do it. But when you don't have to, don't do it. This shit is way easier now because technology has basically put a film studio in a box. You get and you get some good software, some good editing software like DaVinci Resolve, which they actually have a free version that you can do a complete edit, in shoot everything with a digital camera, and now like I said, you can shoot with your smartphone and put your film together and release it on your own website, on your own platform. You can do that now. There are no limits. The only limitations now is your mind. That's it. Um, so uh, do that, man. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing stop you. I remember when I opened my first recording studio, and people said, "Oh, you can't do that." What do you mean you're gonna open your own studio? Because I can't afford booking time every week for these artists. So guess what? I built my own studio and recorded myself, and I taught myself how to record music and edit, and I taught myself how to shoot video and edit, and started doing it myself. And that was 30 years ago when I started. Crazy Baby TV I started 17 years ago. And hey, I just love the fact that now we have the capability of doing the same thing that it took a multi-million-dollar budget and studio to do, some 20, 30 years ago. And that's just crazy to me. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like 20, 30 years from now if we survive. If we survive as a people, uh, and we remain at the head of the technology curve, or even if we're not at the head of it, if we're even still involved in driving new tech, I can't imagine what it's going to be like. We might be able to just get a device and talk to it and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, make it happen, and let AI and the device, fully make the project from concept to finish. I see that coming. I see that. When I told people that music making was going to become all digital, and record labels were going to get put out of business, nobody believed me until it happened. And then when I started doing internet TV, and I told people, I said, yo, this is going to be big. Y'all better jump on this shit. It's going to be big. Even I missed it because I just didn't stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? But had I stayed consistent, when I first started this Crazy Baby TV thing, be a monster conglomerate right now. No doubt about it. There is no doubt about it, because when the pandemic happened and people were forced to start working from home, this whole home-based production thing, exploded, and created new industries for equipment and podcasting gear and, and all of that, So a lot of y'all have seen my studio here. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of mine here. I should have loaded this. Before I started, but like I said, tonight was unscheduled. Do I even have it anymore? I think I do. Maybe I don't. You know what, though? I do have an AI version, which is pretty goddamn accurate, because I actually do have this desk. Well, I actually do have this setup. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I put that shit in the wrong scene. I was on the wrong scene. Here we go. Add existing. There we go. All right, here we go. I made this image last week with AI. And what I did was I took a picture of my actual desk and asked AI to remake it for me into a photorealistic image. And this is what it came up with. Let me tell you something. This is 95% accurate. This is my entire studio. Hold on, let me make it bigger here for y'all, because it still amazes me that this is what we can do. But this is my actual desk that I'm streaming from right now. Like I said, it don't take a lot. If you really want to do something in this industry, use what you got. Start off with what you got. If you got a great smartphone, start off with that. That can be your camera, it can be your recording device, it can be your marketing device and everything. And you build up to other stuff that you would like to have. I mean, I think I probably have a total of about $3,000 invested in my production equipment, my setup right now. With the lights, the computer, microphones, and the desk, and the camera, which isn't anything special. It's just a 4K webcam that I use and my smartphone, my Galaxy S25 Ultra, and that's it. And I can literally do anything that you can imagine as far as production and such. So don't let yourself be limited, thinking that you have to have all this super expensive gear, or you got to spend a whole lot of money, on a professional crew, to do this, that, or the other, because you really don't. Do it yourself is in and very, very real now. You know what I'm saying? Um, when I started this thing here, I actually never intended on being on camera myself. Uh, my original intention with Crazy Baby TV was to use the artists that I was managing as show hosts, and we were going out and interviewing other professional artists and business people all across South Florida, and but they were hosting it. I was behind the scenes. That's where I was more comfortable. I'm still more comfortable behind the scenes, but I'm getting better in front of the camera. I mean, I don't like being on camera because I don't like the way I sound and I don't like the way that I look. That's not to say I got low self-esteem or anything like that. I just never felt like I was a great on-camera personality. But eventually I had to get over that shit and do this shit myself, because it's so hard to find somebody, that's gonna put in the work that you'll put into a project and grow a project from the ground up. It's tough, and I get it. People want to get paid for shit, but at the time when I started, I couldn't pay for all that, which is why I started to do it myself and learned how to do it myself. Now I could, but I just don't want to now. I mean, if somebody wants to come on board, and we work you up to a paid position, you know, um, because, you know, I feel like in today's uh, in today's environment, it's too easy to just jump on, somebody's already built wagon and just ride it out. You know what I mean? Back in the day, um, we had to come together. We had to, and we worked it out. We all built it together, and we all got paid together. But nowadays, you have a lot going on where somebody has made all the investment and put in all the effort to make something, happen. And then all the while, people were like, get a real job, and do this and do that. Nah, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. But as soon as it blows up, they all want to be a part of it. They want to get a check. I'm not with that. And there are some people that I would bring on board, uh, um, that I would, give a check to immediately out the gate. But they got to show me how hungry they are. They got to show me that they really want this shit. Um, because I really want to build something that gets big enough to truly support, families. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm going to leave everything to my own family, but hopefully by then, uh, you know, it'll be big enough to where whoever I leave it to can bring on the help and assistance that they feel they need, and to be able to pay them properly, And so it's not to say I don't want to pay anybody now, because I definitely would, if I absolutely had to, and I definitely will if somebody, truly comes on board, with an open mind and an open heart and really wants to, learn this business, and do this thing, properly. I absolutely I would pay them, or if they brought some serious value to the table. You know what I mean? Absolutely, I would pay him. So don't be scared away, by some of my harsh requirements, of having the willingness to put in the work. Uh, we all have to be willing to put in some work and take some risks. So, and I've pretty much proven that I'm not afraid to take the risk and to put in the work. Hence, over 30 years of successful business. And I'm retired now, too, so that's another thing. This is not a business that I'm making money at, because it's not a business, actually. It's a hobby, so it could be a hella business if somebody wants to come in and take it in that direction. I would gladly hand over the reins to someone who would want to take this and build it into something, greater than thyself. So, like I said, get at me, DM me, email me, call me. My phone number's on the website, and let's talk. We there's a lot we can do still. The market is not oversaturated. Although there are a lot of podcasts out here, there's a lot of people doing shows, but I can almost bet that some of you out there don't have the means right now. Well, I have the means, so get in touch, come on board. I gladly, invite you in to help, build. If you got some great ideas, let's run with it. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, I'm going to take my tired ass to bed now because I got a big day tomorrow. Those that know me, I got my grandbabies. Got to get them to school in the morning, and the youngest one to daycare. And get the stepchildren to work, all that type of thing. So, and then after that, pretty much nothing. My day's wide open. But I do have some things I want to get done tomorrow, production-wise. Working on some new graphics, or finalizing some new graphics, and then doing some brainstorming on some upcoming shows and topics and locations and all that. So, all right, I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience. Join me Sunday night for my regular broadcast at 9 p.m. Right here on YouTube, Crazy Baby TV World, the Ken Jackson Experience. Catch y'all next time. I am out.